Julio Cruz and Gaylord Perry to Alvin Davis and Harold Reynolds to father and son back to back bombs. From Junior J, Joey, and Edgar with Randy, A-Rod, Dan, and the Sheriff to Ichiro Moyer and Mikey C to King Felix, Kyle Cruz, and Cano to the present with Julio, Gilbert, Kirby, and Cal. I don't believe it. It just continues. My, oh my. It's another sports podcast. Honeymoon vacation. Congratulations to the newlyweds. That's Vaden Podcast Services. Vaden Podcast Services bringing the show to life. Got to give a huge shout out to all the homies in the live chat. We really missed you the last couple of weeks. We are so glad to be back in the octagon. But y'all know my man is deep like the shining and sparkles like a diamond. RG, what's up, bro?
Got ice in my veins, blood in my eyes, hate in my heart, love on my mind. It's time to go to work.
Woo! Cutting deep with that one. Well, we got to give a huge shout out to our friends at Romantic About Baseball. And right now, I am loving MLB for one certain reason. RG, you got to talk to me, man. This is the biggest off season in Seattle Mariners franchise history. Give me your thoughts, bro.
Off to a right start. 5 years, $94 million. Josh Naylor will be occupying first base for us moving forward to the 2026 season. Interesting to see what the size of that contract does to any other potential moves we can try to make. But like you said, man, most important offseason in the history of the franchise. And at least it's off to a good start. Got a got a valuable piece to come back. And I'm happy that the deal got done. It
Mhm.
seemed to be a good fit. He was a good fit with us. He seemed to like to be a part of the team. So match made in heaven. Shout out to the organization for bringing him back, and still got more work to do.
Got a lot more work to do, man, because when you lose hitters at the level of Naylor, Polanco, and Suarez off of your ALCS team, that's a third of your lineup there, but not just any third. That is a critical third. The Mariners have to do whatever it takes to at least bring two of those three guys back. I don't see all three being realistic. And part of that is I'm really bullish on Cole Emerson. We'll get into that in a minute, RG. But one thing I really took notice is in this Naylor contract, it's extremely front loaded. It's only 11 or 12 million in year one. Then it keeps escalating up into the 20s by the end of the contract. The Mariners are projected, after all of their arbitration eligible players, which is several key guys, to be about 145 million or so right now, RG. That means if they even just get to where they were last year, they still have 20 million more to spend. It's not a cop out. That's just my realistic number that we have to get to. I would love to see them push to 180. But talk to me. This team is not done yet. But what moves would you like to see them move now that we have Naylor locked down in the fold?
Definitely are going to have to make a decision on what we're going to do with JP.
Mm.
Then third is going to become an issue now. Don't know if we're going to spend the money necessary to keep doing business with Gino. And Gino's numbers were obviously better in Arizona than they were in Seattle, but he hits arguably the biggest home run in Mariner history.
Mm.
So there's a lot of fan love for him. I just don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze with him. And then there's talk about we need to try to go after Bregman. We should go after Schwarber. We should go after Acuna. I know they did the thing at the trade deadline, but I can't sit here today on November 24th and tell you that they'll do the thing before we get to spring training. So we might be looking at finally using some of the minor leaguers to bridge those gaps in our lineup. And honestly, the way I feel about our minor league program, I think some of those guys do need to get up and get a chance to perform because then what are we holding on to them for?
Mm.
Houston gets incredible output from the guys that they bring up. The Dodgers have not only that massive payroll, but the best farm system in baseball. And they get production when they call people up. I think it's time that we explore some of that. Just because, like I said, I don't know if here sitting on November 24th that Stanton is going to open up the book to get the thing done that we want to get done. But still a lot of time to tell.
Yeah, no doubt, man. One thing that makes me more optimistic about this ball club's ability to spend some money in this offseason, and then also at the next trade deadline, too, because as we find out every year, guys that aren't available in the offseason can become available at the trade deadline if there are underperforming teams with pissed off owners. That shit happens every single year, RG. But for the viewer, for you and me, the consumer, having this new Major League TV deal just gives us all another app we need to buy if we want to watch our favorite team, the Seattle Mariners. But that's 3 years and $800 million per year from the different networks, Netflix, ESPN, and NBC putting in. And RG, when it comes to a national TV deal in baseball, they disperse this shit evenly. But that still would give every team in baseball nearly 26.7 million more dollars of revenue per year over the next 3 years. That's substantial money. Now, I'm not Boo Boo the Foo. I was not born yesterday. I don't expect the Mariners or frankly any other team for that matter to spend all 27 million on their player payroll, RG. All I'm asking is Mariners spend half. Spend half, man. I'm telling you, if they throw down 180 million, this team can easily win the World Series considering how close they were in the ALCS. And to top it off, RG, rewind a few weeks. The Toronto Blue Jays were a secondary lead away from winning the World Series. The Mariners took them to an incredible seven gamer. So you can't tell me the Mariners aren't close. But you're right, man. If they don't make the proper moves, we'll be slipping. I got to ask you a question then because this has been all over social media and different sports networks. Cattell, it's no secret that the Arizona Diamondbacks want to move Cattell Marte, former Mariners prospect. Would you have interest in acquiring such player?
The math has to work out.
Yeah.
The math absolutely has to work out, and that's the Achilles heel of us daydreaming on putting together a fantasy roster compared to what Jerry and Justin will actually have the chance to do. Um, Hits on deck. Shout out. Welcome to the chat. Who's our second baseman? That's funny. Me and Ty were just talking about that. I don't know if it's JP moving forward. I like what Cattell Marte offers, but again, it's something I don't get it. I really don't understand what it is about the whole transitioning to Seattle and then finding a way to struggle when you get there. Obviously, Naylor didn't, but Suarez did tremendously.
Mhm.
And all right, Tommy, happy to have you back, man. And we'll get to Tyson's question in a second. Once Tyler goes on his rant about his bum eating football team. Um, I saying that getting the payroll to 180 gets us back there is no guarantee. You look at the Mets, you look at the Padres, you look at the Phillies, you look at teams who have actually gone out and spent, and there's no absolute guarantee for success there. It was a great year. We were a mistake pitch away, 9 outs from reaching the Holy Grail. I don't know if they are aggressive enough to go out and do what it takes. I think definitely think that they're more. Let's see what we can get at the deadline than making a huge splash before everybody reports to Peoria. I absolutely hope that they prove me wrong. We definitely need some help in the bullpen. I unpopular opinion, but we're gonna have to break up with one of the starters. Only real way I can see us being able to get something done before the trade deadline. If we want to splash before free agency. Again, I hope I'm wrong.
Okay. Well, if you go this route, then it's always coming down to the obvious. Let's trade Luis Castillo. But when it's the obvious guy, RG, you know that he brings the least value to the table. We know Kirby, LG, Brian Wu. That is substantial fucking trade value right there. So it depends how you want to go about it. Now, honestly, RG, I've had the idea now, I've been thinking to myself for a while now that maybe you trade Castillo for a bag of peanuts just for the financial flexibility. Now, that would be a move I would do. If I were the Mariners, I wouldn't even care who I get on the back end because whoever you bargain for as that player is not going to equal what $21 million per year over the next two guaranteed, and he has an option clause where it could be 3 years 72 over the next three, so it can get really crazy there. You are asking RG about bringing a prospect up, and the Mariners did an excellent job with the first and second waves here, but we need this third and fourth wave desperately, RG. We really do. And this is where I'm looking at Cole Emerson, man. I'm so high on this guy. He is a daily web gem. He is going to be a future gold glove type of shortstop. I'm going as far as saying that he could be 2026 rookie of the year, man, because I seriously think, dude, this guy could be the left-handed Troy Tulowitzki. I'm feeling that good about him. In his minor league career, he's consistent as hell. 287 with the 840 OPS, and 25 itself, 285, 841 OPS. This guy is obscenely consistent. And then I know the PCL, the ball travels like it's on a rocket ship, RG, but in six AAA games, he had 364 with a 1.17 OPS, two bombs, and nine RBI. I'm pounding the table for Cole Emerson. And when you say move JP to second base, I really love that dynamic right there. And if we pull that maneuver, I honestly kind of shift to maybe wanting Suarez over Polo because that still leaves a giant gap at third base. I know a lot of fans want to try to trade JP Crawford, and that does make sense also, but RG, I don't know if this team's in the business of getting rid of your good players when we need to be adding.
Some very interesting conversations going on in that front office. Hopefully, Mariners Lifer says Castillo for some mid-level prospects, or Castillo and Hancock with prospects for a DH slash second baseman. Who's you're better with the contract numbers than I am. Is Castillo's the only contract that has, because doesn't he have a no trade?
Yeah, it will expire in the next year or two, but it's going to be a really, really a pretty tough move. And he likes it here in Seattle. Basically, everyone's consensus theory is RG. He's only waiving a no trade clause if it's going to a true contender. But at the same token, the only teams that could afford Luis Castillo right now are those big market teams anyway. So it kind of works out in that way.
Be really interesting to see what happens over the next 3.5 months before it's time to report to Peoria. We're close, man. We're closer than we've ever been. Tinkering with the formula at this stage is the most difficult part of the process. One
Mm-hmm.
pinch too much, one teaspoon too late completely mixes up the mixture, and grandma's cooking doesn't taste like it's supposed to. So very, very, very treacherous times here. And again, will they be allowed the flexibility to go out and do what it is that they have to do?
Yeah.
I think that that's the most damning part of all of this is I know what he said in the ad he took out in the paper. I happen to get it on my email. Do I trust the words of John Stanton? That remains to be seen.
I don't think you should, frankly.
Once someone shows you who they are, you trust them. So
Yeah.
we'll see, man. We'll definitely see. But an incredible ride. Cal ended up finishing second to Judge in the MVP votes, which can't be mad at. Once you put their numbers side by side, really, other than home runs, Judge has an historical type of year. So
Mhm.
baseball writers don't have voters fatigue like they do in the NFL. Because if this was the NFL, Josh Allen would have won the MVP. So
Mhm.
big shout out to Cal on the year that he had. Texas Rain, Texas Rangers. We'll see, man. We'll see if we have to deal with y'all. Y'all still got some questions to answer about all that money y'all gave to Simeon. Kind of looks like the money the Angels gave to Rendon right now, if you ask me.
Ooh.
Uh,
Well, time out. I want Texas Power Ranger to pipe in, dude, because there was a massive trade, either today or yesterday. But Marcus Simeon gets dealt to the New York Mets for Brandon Nimmo, and so that was a big surprise to baseball fans. That's a big trade, and Texas Power, tell us what you feel. Brandon Nimmo for Marcus Simeon, two big name players, two guys with good careers. Maybe on the backside of it, we'll see how that works out. I'm not necessarily tripping about the Rangers either, dude. And I got to ask you then because this one's been on the rumor mill a ton, and it would definitely be a 1 year rental. Tarek Skubal is a Scott Boras agent. Everybody knows he is about to be the richest pitcher in baseball history. RG, I am the Detroit Tigers GM. You are Jerry DePoto, man. I give you a call and I tell you, yo, I'm going to give you George Kirby, Cole Young, and Felnine Celestin for a 1 year rental of Tarek Skubal. Do you say yes or no?
I'm in. I
Okay.
am absolutely in. Let's look back a couple weeks ago to Game 6, and Yamamoto goes out, throws over 100 pitches, gets the Dodgers to a do or die game. Then at the end of it, the same guy gets off the bench and comes in and pitches them to a World Series title. I think Scoop was built like that. We don't have a single pitcher on our staff that's built like that. I
Hmm.
love Logan. Logan's not doing that. Bry- Bryce Miller might be the only person that might have the heart, but his arm wasn't in the condition to be able to do something like that. I'd absolutely take it. I'd absolutely take it. But again, I'm willing to sacrifice just to get us the thing. I'm not looking at it from long term sustainability. I just want to see us lift the trophy in October, no matter what
Hmm.
we have to do to try to get there. And I think that Scooble's the type of pitcher who can definitely aid in trying to get that done. But I know what's on the other side is, do you blow up what you have for one last chance, and then what if that chance doesn't help, especially over 162 regular season games? I Man, and I get that we had the chance that we did beat him. Well, we won the games that he started in the playoffs, but I definitely don't think that that doesn't mean he's not that guy. Just sometimes the ball doesn't go in your direction, as baseball is like that, man. Interesting. Like I said, I do it, but I also go to the blackjack table and I hit on 16. So
Hmm. Hmm.
there's a difference there in how that would run. Yeah, man. A lot of people I don't think would be willing to go for it. How about you?
I think I would pull the trigger. And part of that is I just want to be the hero, though, man. You brought up something interesting there without even bringing it up, RG. The Texas Rangers. You realize that they have one winning season out of the last 9 years? The Texas Rangers have one winning season in the last 9 years. Guess what they did, bro? You know what happened. World champ. That's we're going all in. And you lose your security blanket, which is those years of club control with a George Kirby. So it makes it a huge conundrum. You mentioned earlier, RG, that you want bullpen help. I am pounding the table for bullpen help. We couldn't have more bullpen help. And when you go on long playoff runs, you need to reinvigorate your pitching staff more than ever because the high leverage innings on short rest pile up in a hurry in the playoffs. You got to have backup plans upon backup plans. And then we know the Mariners are trying to pinch some pennies to go after big fish, which I'm happy about. They non tendered Trent Thornton. They non-tendered Saucedo, and they non-tendered my boy Gregory Santos, who has elite stuff, elite velocity. He had an unbelievable rookie year. So clearly, Santos, his attitude, his work ethic, everything behind the scenes is not working in the favor. So they got rid of three guys at dead weight in the bullpen. I already needed to add. So RG, I think this is going to be out of the Mariners' price range, but of course I'm looking at high lev Dev, man. Devin fucking Williams, man. Don't let Yankee fans twist your mind sideways about his ERA well over 4 this year, RG, because he's still that dude. He's still that dude. He is in the 95th percentile for expected batting average. He's in the 99th percentile for whiff rate, the 97th percentile for chase rate, the 97th percentile for K rate. I'm going crazy here because you might be able to get him on a huge discount because 2025 he posted a 4.79 ERA. I look at those other more in-depth statistics. It tells me that he is still that man with a plan coming to dominate. And still, I don't know if anybody has a changeup that moves as much as high lev Dev. It'll cost the Mariners probably $15 million a year, so it might be unreasonable, RG, but I'm pounding the table for a dude like that.
Just based on those stats alone, man. Absolutely. But again, like I was saying, Mariners life or don't trip, man. I don't see us making that move whatsoever to try to go after Scooble for 1 year. That's not in our makeup. Um, Tinkering with this formula is going to be it's going to take some master precision because we don't there's just a lot that with the guys we do have under control, the guys we don't have control over, the guys who will be impending, and baseball seasons are long, man. One
Mm-hmm.
freak injury screws that whole deal up, and then you have the "I told you not to do" a crowd come out, and that's not really what we need. Again, to me, what this whole offseason will break down to is the financial flexibility that Stanton allows. Does he stay true to his words and want to do what it takes necessary to get a World Series championship to the Pacific Northwest, or do we conduct business as usual?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see us doing more of the business as usual and seeing what we can go out and get at the trade deadline.
Mm-hmm.
The scary thing to me about that always is if we come into the All Star break holding on to third place in the division and become sellers instead of buyers, treacherous. The window period for me that was projected from us from 22 to 25. This is the end of 25. might be beginning to close. Do we overreact in trying to pry the window open? Do we make some logical? It's just going to be tough, man. It's just going to be tough. But again, I don't envy the position that Jerry's in because you got a rabid, thirsty fan base right now
Hmm.
who's in a position that they've never been in before and would hate for it to go awry and it take us 24 more years to get back to this.
Hmm. Well, RG, for me, the window is it all comes down to how this next wave of prospects go, man. If they're flops or if half of them fulfill their promise. All we need is half the guys to pan out because that's all that happens, anyways. You just can't have all duds like we've seen the Mariners produce all duds before. You absolutely can't have that. But here's what I'm looking at, man. We can keep the window open much longer if Cole Young can do his thing. Cole Emerson can do his thing. We need a lot from Harry Ford this year, dog. Don't get it twisted. Harry Ford's going to play a critical role on this team, y'all. A lot of people want to trade him because it's an obvious move. Cal's blocking him, but here's what we found out, RG. I need my elite hitter. I need my 60 home run switch hitter. I need him in the lineup every fucking day, dude. And that means that we need to give him more DH days, which means our backup catcher is even more important. Here, what I figured out this year, because I'd never seen an elite hitting catcher day in, day out, that when you have that dude, the need for a top end backup catcher is actually higher on the pecking order because we need Cal in the lineup. So we need Harry Ford to step up huge. Cade Anderson, could he make it by August 2026? That might be pushing it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see him kicking ass and taking names in 2027, man. So fun times, man. I just wanted to also say, RG, I would be smitten if the Mariners went after a guy like Robert Suarez from San Diego. I think that might be a stretch. He's another 14, $15 million type of reliever, but let's rob from our neighbors, man. The Texas Rangers. Danny Coulomb is on the free agency list, and he has had an ERA under 3 since 2022. The Southpaw is only scheduled to make a projected 3 to 4 million. Danny Coulomb would be a fantastic bargain addition to our bullpen, RG. And of course, you know how much I want to lock it down. What about bringing in a second closer? We got Raisel Iglesias. We got the old warhorse Kenley Jansen. And I'm going to go into a little bit of Moneyball here. Tyler Rogers, his only defect is he pitches funny. There's dudes out there in our budget, not in my high lev dev, crazy high type of contract situation. There's guys we can improve the bullpen with, RG. And I pound the table, they got to do it, man, because arms will be tired coming into the year.
Tyler Rogers from my hometown,
No
uh,
doubt. Really?
Carlsbad, New Mexico. So
No shit. Okay.
I like when the Mariners give me a little taste of that New Mexican home cooking. But we still got a couple weeks to figure this out. Winter meetings are scheduled to start December 7th in Orlando. That's approximately what, two weeks from today.
Hmm.
Gonna be 2 weeks from today. So yeah, man, Mariners Lifer says we have a guy in our system that pitches like Tyler Rogers. His name is Tyler Cleveland. Don't know a lot about him, man.
Interesting.
Yeah, don't know a lot about him. I'm not heavy on the prospect page. I like to see guys who are actually on the team performing. And the only real reason am somewhat familiar with Harry Ford, one, because I know he plays on the England national team, so you'll get to see him playing when we get to the World Baseball Classic. Plus, the game that got him called up was happily here in Albuquerque against the Albuquerque Isotopes, where he came here and just kept bouncing balls off the side of the mountain up here. So, um, yeah, man, real interesting to see how this all pans out, and the fun really begins in 2 weeks to see what acquisitions that they do, and we'll get a sense early of the direction that they're going to go in. But I don't want to overshadow the fact that I am really happy that we were able to come to terms and keep Naylor in the fold.
Oh yeah, we cannot understate it, man. And sometimes you got to do the obvious move, RG. Teams in all sports love to get cute. Don't get cute. The obvious move is to bring Naylor back. And what makes me so happy about the timing. Now we have all this time to truly navigate the off season. Honestly, RG, I was worried that Naylor wasn't going to sign until after Pete Alonso cut a deal to try to make his market peak at the top value. I also thought that Naylor would be a great fit for the Yankees. I thought he could be a great fit for the Dodgers, teams that could clearly outbid the Mariners. And so I said this on social media that if you want to play hardball with Polo, if you want to play hardball with Suarez, fine, I get it. But you better not be playing hardball with Naylor. You better come in with a strong, firm, real offer. And they did that. So congratulations.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tyson says he doesn't know much about Orioles prospects really outside the top five, and yeah, that's about the depth of it. I'm going to sit here and hold you and try to get into what's down the pipeline conversation with that. All I know is now's the time. Now's the time. Is do we capitalize on this or do we regress back to the mean? So December 7th, we'll get a real early feel about what direction we're going to go, and I for one am hoping that just give me a decent product on the field to start opening day, and anything can really happen. We'll start banging our heads against the wall come Cinco de Mayo.
Drinking tequila out of sorrow instead of triumph.
Such is life.
Well, no, go ahead, big dog. Go ahead.
Song you play.
Okay, man. All right. Well, we saw our homie Tyson bring it up a little bit earlier, man, and we have all off season to completely dig into the Mariners, man. But I just am looking at the NFC as a whole, man, and I don't see heck. I don't see a dominant team in all of the NFL right now. The NFC has got five or six really good teams. Your Eagles are one of them. They took it on the chin to the Cowboys. That's still an 8-3 team, and they're one of the five or six I think could make the Super Bowl out of the NFC. Talk to me, man.
Before we go there, let me answer the hits on deck. Prospects to me are suspect, and I've said that numerous times on this format. Prospects to me, and I'm just talking about me personally, not Tyler's opinion, not Vaden podcast opinion. Me personally, prospects are suspect until they get up and actually do something. Yeah, especially watching baseball. How many times have we heard the story about the guy who spent 12 years down there and finally got one at bat, and then we never hear about him again? Um, I'd give you I'd give you Ford, not Ford. Ryan Lewis. I was expecting a lot out of Class A. The speedster that we had that showed a lot of promise during spring training. I haven't heard a drop from him since. I don't spend a lot of time watching the minor league products, man. I really only focus about what's on the big league club. So that's my opinion. We're all entitled to it, and that's just how I rock. Um, Football, man, just NFL, not for long. There's, I'll just start with the just absolute disgrace that Sunday turned into. We'd been complaining about our offense not clicking, us not getting people the ball, us being very vanilla. The defense knows what's coming. We score on our first three possessions. First three possessions take a 21 to nothing lead. Since 2000, anytime that we have been up 21 points in a game, we are 30 and 0. Then halftime start. And once Dak exposed our Dak just exposed us. Now, Blankenship being hurt had a little bit to do with that as well too. I'm not an Adoree Jackson fan at all, but Pickens turned into what was it? Tyson made the comment earlier that Pickens was a JSN Jerry Rice 2.0. He could be, but George Pickens was him on Sunday afternoon once they got back from halftime. The two catches he had for major bombs down the line, the open field catch he had to set up their field goal, just we couldn't do nothing against him. Couldn't do nothing to stop him. And you for Brandon Aubrey to miss a kick, for Brandon Aubrey to miss a kick under 55 yards, I just thought the writing was on the wall that we would do it. And just Dallas came up, man. Dallas came up. Dallas came up. But, tough loss for us. Still enough time to bounce back. Lucky for the Eagles, we were in a huge, huge spot where we had the biggest lead of any division leader in football. So we still have a 3-game lead over Dallas. But now the schedule doesn't look as favorable as it did. We got 3 games coming up. Who'd have said that the Bears would be 8-3 and leading their division coming into our Black Friday matchup, followed by the Chargers, who are fighting for their playoff position. Then we'll have a back to back with Washington, and then we got to play Buffalo. So there's definitely some chances for us to make some noise, but definitely some chances for some things to go wrong. I'm not sure what's going on in that locker room or why we can't put two consistent halves of football together other than the week 8 game against the Giants. Our offensive line is banged up, missing Lane Johnson hurts, but Saquon is having a horrible, not saying that he's a horrible player, but just a horrible production year. And we don't have enough creativity in our offense to be able to find a way to get him going. Real tough, man. Real tough. Who would have thought that the Texas defense, dude, that Texas defense is number one in the league. And I had no idea until I heard them start breaking down the stats on Thursday night's game.
Well, let's just go to the Texans right away, man. What do we know? DeMeco Ryans is a fantastic coach. He was a fantastic linebacker. The players just literally give their blood, sweat, and tears for that man. So they have a coach that I absolutely love. And then just look at where it starts, man. You got two premier edge rushers. Daniil Hunter was given up on in Minnesota, given a new lease on life. And in the draft in which Will Anderson was picked number 3, there was nobody in that draft, RG. I wanted to fall to number 5 for the Seahawks more than Will Anderson out of Alabama. Then you just look, Derek Stingley Jr. I don't give a shit about rankings. Watch that guy backpedal and transition. Tell me there's a smoother athlete out there than that dude. Then you bring in a Kamari Lassiter from Georgia. You bring in a Jalen Petrie. You bring in thumpers on the back end. They got To'o, Aziz Al-Shair. I'm messing that up.
I
We
got
know
you. I got you.
he gets me tongue tied because I'm scared of that motherfucker, man. There's some dudes that I just see out there and they intimidate the shit out of me. There's a lot of good defense all over, RG. The Baltimore Ravens couldn't stop anything to start the season. Lamar's clearly banged up. They've gotten back in the divisional race, playing some good old black and blue football, which I like to see, man. But that was a really tough one for your Eagles, man. This is why I don't text my friends for their favorite teams mid-game, because I would have been like, man, y'all are rolling up them boys. Then they completely flipped the script in the second half on your team. I just want to say one thing about the Cowboys, though, man, and although it's not the sexiest position, it's actually the least sexy on the possible field if you look at these dudes. But the combination of Kenny Clark and Quinnen Williams are going to be fucking up interior O lines across the league. That changes the dynamic of the Cowboys defense. Nonetheless, man, your Eagles have the talent on offense, but you're right, the run game's not going, and I don't see a cohesive plan with that team. And That's what's tough, man. You know, the Seattle Seahawks are probably going to go through similar predicaments as your Philadelphia Eagles, in that if your head coach is not the offensive play caller and you have some good seasons, that OC will get plucked to another team. You've seen two of your guys get head coaching jobs, and it's just really, really hard to consistently find a top level OC over and over.
Three,
Three?
the two
Oh,
that
you
got
fired
plucked
the
from.
dude. Yeah.
No. The two that
Okay.
got plucked from the first Super Bowl we went to against the Chiefs, and then Kellen Moore
Mm,
staying in New Orleans to coach the Saints after last year's Super Bowl. Um, the mistake that we made that I don't, I once is a coincidence, twice is a trend, and we went back to the thing that didn't work. We promoted someone from in house, and the way that Steichen and Gannon ran the offense isn't the way that Brian Johnson and Kevin Patullo run the offense. And you would think that being someone's understudy, you would be able to step in and knowing, being having a front row seat to what worked last year and what didn't work. On the defense, I can kind of understand because there were four guys that we lost that were key contributors to the defense, that really didn't want to pay to bring him back. But the offense, in the most part, other than Becton on the offensive line, came back,
hmm
and Jurgens hasn't been the same. Dickerson hasn't been the same. Lane Johnson's been a stalwart. To me, Lane Johnson is the first ballot Hall of Famer. That dude's been a stalwart for so many years,
hmm
and you know as he gets older, his body's going to be able to get broken down. And then we got a guy like Fred Jackson come in relief of him, who says it's his job to try to take Lane's spot one day, and he 50-50 with him so at times. I'm not sure why we went back to a rookie play caller because obviously that didn't work. We went
mm
to an experienced play caller, won the Super Bowl, went right back to an inexperienced play caller, and here we are where that defense is what's shining that has helped kept us the lead. Now,
hmm
I would love for the offense to get rolling, but us acquiring Jalen Phillips, like you said, is just like the Cowboys acquiring Quentin Williams, but now we got three dudes up there who you got to worry about because Jordan Davis is a beast. Jalen
Yeah.
Jalen Clark is a beast. Sorry, Jalen Carter is a beast. And now you add Phillips to that with the healthy Nolan Smith. We should be able to create pressure with that and be a little bit more creative on defense. But
hmm
just we got to give some young guys some chance. I still love Cooper DeJean. I still love Quinion Mitchell. What did I hear them call it the other day? That CD Lamb was stuck on Guantanamo Bay. Couldn't get anything going because Quinion Mitchell is that good. But with the offense, man, something has to click. So something has to click, and we saw a glimmer of it work for 30 minutes Sunday, and then no production in the second half.
hmm
No production in the second half. So, and like you said, man, when you have good seasons like that, someone's bound to come get your guy. But instead, in retooling, there should have been some other options out there. I don't think you're. I was reading one Eagles post talk about we should have done what we could have done to get Ben Johnson. That guy deserved a head coaching job, and look what he's done with the Bears. So that was a pipe dream that wasn't going to happen. But you have time to be able to develop these plans and develop these schemes, and just nothing seems to be working right now. And the
hmm
turmoil of it, I would surprise me if AJ's gone at the end of the year. Just to had not, just to have this conversation last for now 2 seasons, just is a little ridiculous. I still got faith though. Still got faith in the boys, but tough time Sunday. Tough time
Yeah.
Sunday.
No doubt. I couldn't agree more with kind of your overall philosophy. That's a really tough L to take, but you're still 8-3, and for the most part, the defense has been ferocious. And we know, man, football changes in November, December, and January. Football is a different game in those 3 months compared to September and October. And the physicality of your team will really show up in these cold weather months. And speaking of physicality, man, my Seattle Seahawks, they have thoroughly impressed me this year, RG. This is one of the best rosters in the NFL, bar none. If we just list every single player, all 53, all 70, whatever number you want to take it to, we got it, man. We have the championship depth right now. We got guys like Drake Thomas and O'Connell sticking and licking out there as the third, fourth, and fifth string linebackers, man. I was just talking about impressive interior D linemen. I would love to see who's playing better than Big Cat Williams and Byron the Bull Murphy, man. It is such a disruptive D line. They're coming in absolute waves. The secondary, this is the best season, or at least the best few game stretch I've seen out of Tariq Woolen in probably 3 years. Devin Witherspoon is taking his game to another level since they've been able to insert Nick Emmanwori into the slot, RG. The very first comment of the night from our homie Tyson is JSN looking like Jerry Rice. I don't know if I can go that far, RG, but you know my exact comps I see in JSN is absolutely Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holt. He plays the game exactly like those two. Just a pure wide receiver with no weaknesses in his game. The offensive line has improved a ton, RG. First play of the game, running between the left tackle and the left guard, crossing Zabel, 9 yards for Ken Walker. This team is absolutely fantastic, but there is a giant Achilles heel, man. Sam Darnold through the first 10 games, RG led the NFL in turnovers. He had 0 at Tennessee, but I believe me and our boy Indy counted 3 turnover worthy plays where the ball popped up in the air. That ball pops up in the air, you know it gets caught by the defense 50% of the time. So, all these good things, RG. The Seahawks have Super Bowl dreams, but if Sam Darnold doesn't cut his turnovers in half the second half of the season, it'll turn into a wild card nightmare, I promise.
Well, you know, the thing I like to pick on you all too in our off mic conversations is it's not that I don't think you guys are good. You guys are built. You guys are built really well. Um, but you also get the benefit of that schedule. And even looking at your schedule moving forward, you only have two real threats on it. And the thing that scares me about it is there's no testing there. So we'll definitely see if you guys can come through the Falcons game on the 7th, and then you got the only two real threats left on your schedule are the Colts on the 14th and a quick turnaround against the Rams in Seattle. I mean, there's a chance that you guys come out division winners from it. But we'll just see. It's easy to style on. It's easy to style on good bad teams. It's easy to style on bad teams, and the Eagles do that pretty well. So we sure did style on the Giants after Cam Scatterbo and Jackson Dart put their foot in our asses up in New York. But it's fun. It's fun. Your division is definitely competitive. I I wish I picked in Jigba my fantasy team. I had a chance to and just didn't believe in him. But instead of him, I picked Jonathan Taylor, and that has paid off some pretty good dividends other than this week.
Doof. I mean, you're talking about the two MVPs of the non quarterbacks, man, for real.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
JSN though, man, I gotta wax on the routes though, the hands in and out of the breaks, silky smooth, tough as nails, man. Just a pure wide receiver. It's a joy to watch that guy play. And RG, I think sometimes I forget this dude went for 300 receiving yards in the Rose Bowl. Don't forget that shit. He's showing it right now.
Fuck Ohio State. Let's get to the chat. Let's get to the chat. Let's get to the chat. What are your thoughts about the Ravens? Are we lucky our division is bad? The thing that is about the Ravens to me is when most people talk about and look at the Ravens, there's some misconceptions about how your team is built, and that team definitely is not the defensive juggernaut of the 2000s, of the earlier 2000s. But with Pittsburgh not being the Pittsburgh that we remember, the Browns being the Browns, and Burrow not being able to stay healthy is in front of you. Now, unfortunately for you, Sunday, Burrow comes back, and all Burrow does against you guys is throw for 400 yards and four touchdowns a game, it seems like. So, if you can get by that, you should be able to maintain and make it very interesting for it. Tay Williams, Pickens is top three. I don't know if I can go that far, but he did. He showed out against the Eagles, though. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not going to deny that. And like yeah, like I said, we style on bad teams. It's easy to do, but the thing that I know about my guys that I would like for Tyler to be able to know about his guys is when you get into it, do you have someone you could trust? And no matter how bad Sunday may have been, I know that I can trust Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to say something about Jalen Hurts right now too, because of all of the prop bets, because of fantasy football, because of the proliferation of the passing game, because of Madden, because of college football, the video game. People always be talking shit about Jalen Hurts and his stats, but all I know is it seems like when the lights are the brightest, they're forced to put the ball up more, and he shines and delivers. Even in that Super Bowl loss, man, you can't tell me that was his fault. They lost that game. He brought everything, and I want to drop one stat. I want to drop one stat. RG, I was looking at this shit. Jalen Hurts has 25 total touchdowns and two turnovers. I repeat, 25 touchdowns, one pick, one fumble lost. That's winning football. And if they could somehow get Saquon Barkley running at an average clip, shit might change real quick.
Like I said, that's why I'm not worried about it. I've been able to see this guy do it when it counts. And I'm happy he's my quarterback. I'm happy he's my quarterback. I know Burrow and Lamar and Josh put up prettier stats. It's the guy who doesn't get mentioned, who, like you said, has been the most consistent winner in the group, and you could trust him when it comes through. He doesn't win his Super Bowls or go to his Super Bowls in October. He goes to them in February.
Mm.
Uh, Pickens is second in the NFL in yards. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm not saying he's not having a good season, but they're definitely still. And I wonder how much of that too is because of the attention that CD gets paid. But Dak found him. Dak found that boy, and he put his foot in our asses on Sunday. Not gonna deny that one fucking bit. Let's see who else had a football question. If we can scroll through and go from here, this is gonna be a real interesting week. The shakedown in the NFC Central is going to begin because you have the Packers and the Lions going head up. The Eagles play the Bears on Sunday. The Vikings have played themselves out of it. Then you have the Chiefs and the Cowboys basically playing an elimination game because neither one of them can afford a step back. The AFC West between Denver and I almost called them San Diego, between the Chargers and the Broncos is still interesting. The NFC West is still anybody's battle with these 49ers winning tonight. Rams
Oh, they're
have
still in it big.
Rams still have a 1 game lead, and
Hmm.
what are you guys? And you guys are still in second, or is it a tie
Yeah,
now?
tie now.
Yeah, and you
If,
still
if
got
San Francisco did the job tonight, yeah.
yeah, and you still got it heads up against each other too. So there's still a lot of good football to be played moving forward here. Tell me at this point, what do you think has been the most surprising thing so far that we've seen in the NFL?
It's got to be Daniel Jones and just the Colts offense in general. I know the running game got shut down, and for two straight games, Daniel Jones might be turning back into a pumpkin. But RG, I like almost everybody on the Colts roster, especially their offense. But I thought Daniel Jones was a terrible NFL quarterback, man. And to do what they're doing right now is I thought that they were going to be a top 10 drafting team, meaning bottom third in the league, maybe even in the bottom five of the league. So the Colts absolutely surprised me in a positive way. And I'm going to say the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs have all kind of disappointed me this year. And maybe even though they have the three most star studded quarterbacks in football, that the huge amounts you got to pay these guys, it just puts so much pressure on making all your draft picks right. And even Hall of Fame GMs aren't going to hit every time.
Absolutely true. My shocker is going to be the New England Patriots. And if you would have told me that that same group of characters was going to come back and be and have a 10-2 record, I would have thought you were crazy.
Yeah.
But Bravo, man, what does this say about Mike Vrabel? Because he had some really good teams and some really good records in Tennessee, and now he's been able to go to New England. Drake May looks like an MVP candidate. I just yeah they're rolling, man. I couldn't I can't believe that they're having the season that they're having, and they're up two on Buffalo and three with
And
the
look at
head
the
they had.
Titans.
Yeah.
Look at both of them together. When you're talking about Vrabel, man, the Titans are about to have the first pick back to back years. What a difference he's made.
What do you think about Cam Ward?
I really liked his performance against the Seahawks, actually. And RG, I'll be lying if I said I was dissecting Tennessee Titans film. Who on God's green earth wants to dissect a one win team? But they were so clearly outmatched. I mean, besides Jeffrey Simmons and Peter Skoronsky, there wasn't a player in their starting lineup that would be good enough to start for the Seahawks. They were completely outmatched. I loved Cam's toughness. He made a couple of great ad lib extending the pocket throwing type of plays. And then he had a couple of deep seam throws in rhythm on timing that I fucking loved, RG. Quarterbacks have to attack the scenes at some point. I am a huge proponent of the check down. You know this. But at some point, you got to attack the defense. And he was able to hit a couple shots between the linebackers and the safeties. Our homie Indy would say that our linebackers were absent in the middle of the field at Tennessee, which you can see at the game a lot better than on TV. And given all the injuries, I'm not surprised. But yeah, I was much more impressed with Cam Ward's play than I thought, RG, going in, because if you just look at the stats, you're going to be like, oh my God, did they just draft Demarcus Russell? But I saw some major signs of life. But I wrote down, dude, RG, and this is a major pet peeve for me across the NFL, is teams that hold on to a lame duck coach, teams that hold on to a guy that's on the ultra hot seat. When you draft a rookie quarterback, you fire that coach midseason or only 1 year together. You're stunting the development. The Bears did that with Eberflus and Caleb Williams. We've seen the New York Jets do that countless times. We've seen the Titans just do it this year because they hire fucking Tommy Callahan thinking they're going to sell brake pads back to the freaking Lombardi. Come on now. So I'm just, I had to get it off my chest. Teams, get your coach straight when you're about to draft a rookie quarterback, please. The development prospects will go so much better.
Case in point, the New York Giants.
For real.
Man, he said, "I can't believe you hit me with a Tommy Boy reference, man." That's some mind blowing shit. But it is my favorite weekend of the year. Starts on Friday, and no, it's not NFL football. It is actually college football. It is rivalry week and the last chance for you to make your statement for the teams who aren't going to play in their conference championships, to see why you should be invited to the CFP, and then some of the bigger legacy matchups and go from there. Let's start with the one that's going to dominate your household. Do the Ohio State Buckeyes get off the schneid and end this 4 game losing streak to Michigan? or do I get to harass Katie for hours upon hours starting Saturday at around 1 o'clock?
Everything in the world that's important to the game of football screams the Buckeyes are going to win this game by 2 touchdowns. But this is why it's your favorite weekend, RG, because in rivalry weekend in college football, throw the record out the door, throw the pro prospects out the door, throw the better schemers out the door. Anything can happen. Heck, Ohio State was the vastly better team over Michigan last year, and they got punked by those Wolverines. So I do think Ohio State's going to win this game, RG. But for the exact reason you love this weekend so much, I wouldn't put any money on it, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Wolverines just got their number.
That game gets the most high profile because Florida State and Miami has fallen off, and traditionally Florida State and Miami play early in the year and wouldn't occupy that slot anyway. The one that I'm happy to see back is Texas and Texas A&M because that was a really good that was a really good rivalry when both of them were in the Big Eight, Big 12. And then when Texas A&M left, Texas cut out the rivalry. Now Texas is in the SEC, and they'll have a chance to come in. And Texas A&M is holding the three spot, I believe, in the current rankings, undefeated with a chance to make the championship game. Then you have the interesting scenario that I see it is if I'm Oregon, I don't know if I want to play in the conference championship game because I think it helped Ohio State last year not playing in the Big Ten title game
Mm.
and getting that extra time. And really, if you're in the top 12, what does it really matter if you play in your conference championship game or not? You just get you get a home game. I mean, you get one of the legacy bowl games to stop off with first. And Ohio State was able to build momentum, whooping the hell out of Tennessee, and then Oregon had no answer for
Hmm.
them. The ACC is going to play out real interesting. That's still as much as I love to rub Indy about Miami, they still have an outside chance to be able to make it since Georgia Tech uh, lost on Saturday. Then you have the group of five, which to me might get a little interesting personally, just because of how tight the Mountain West race is, where my Lobos happen to play. We have a chance to play our way into our conference championship game. Um, and then we're going to get some screwiness out of it as well too. If all four teams end up tied, the tiebreaker is to go back to the old BCS system and throw all the stats into a computer and let the computer spit out who the
Oh, no
two teams
shit.
going to play it
Oh,
in.
wow.
Going to be some interesting wild shit. Indiana has a chance to make the championship game if if matter of fact your Washington Huskies have a chance to make the Big Ten really interesting too if they upset Oregon Saturday and Michigan were to upset and Michigan were to upset Ohio State. That throws the Big Ten into a mess too to see who ends up in the championship game to play Indiana. So there's a lot of fun to be had this Saturday. Hopefully, you get a chance to watch some of these games that start on Friday playing into it. But it's my favorite. It's my favorite week of the year, the college rivalry week, and the last chance to make statements. I do think that Sellers and God, I wanted to call him Navarro. That's not his last name. The quarterback from Indiana, and my guy from Albuquerque playing for Vanderbilt, Diego Pavia. I think that he's
Mm.
made himself a nice little statement to get invited to New York to see what goes down for the Heisman because
Okay, so
he's
Heisman's
going to get his moment.
you got Mendoza, you got
Mendoza,
Pavia, and then who else?
Ohio State Sayers.
Let's say, oh yeah, okay, Sayan's
Staying.
playing.
Julian Staying. Yeah.
What about Jeremiah Love? I gotta throw his name in there. I know I'm biased for
That
running
boy went
backs,
ape
but
shit.
dude,
That boy went
he's
ape
got
shit
he's
on
got to be
Saturday, didn't he?
invited. He's got to be invited. Am I
Yeah.
crazy?
No,
Love's
not
got
at
to be
all.
invited.
Remember, he was my pick at the beginning of the
It
year
was.
to actually win the
It
Heisman.
was
Yeah, yeah. So we'll love to see him get invited, but it's gonna be
big
fun,
time.
fun weekend. of sports coming up, man. Weekend of sports coming up. To get to some other topics real quick before we end the show for the night. We were gone because Indy was on his honeymoon. Congratulations to him and Darby and the whole staff over there at Vaden Podcast Services getting to celebrate some well-deserved time off for all the hard work that they do, not only with our show, but the other shows that they produce that have some huge followings. Keelan from the Cowboys, man, broke my heart when I seen that. Absolutely broke my heart when I seen it. And I'm 42 years old. I believe that kid was 24. Even at 42, there's nothing more heartbreaking to me than to get to see a young man not live the rest of his life. And just the way it all went down. He a couple weeks ago, if you remember, the Cowboys were playing the Cardinals on a Monday night, and he got to live every kid's dream of, well, any kid that's played football, his dream of scoring a touchdown on a Monday night, and then 3 days later, tragically no longer with us. And it just goes to show you, man, you never know what someone else is going through. No matter how glamorous you think that their life are because of what they're doing, the money they make, the opportunity they have, it was obviously that that guy was hurting. And it's sad to see another young life taken tragically from us, man. So shout out to him, his family, his fiance. Tough times for him. I like how the NFL did the right thing and gave him a moment of silence. And even some of the players that got close to him during the draft process. I know one on my team, the Eagles, actually had a picture of them together during the draft process put on his cleats for My Cleats, My Cause week this week. And if you are struggling with any type of depression, be sure you reach out for help. There's someone who cares. There's someone somewhere who cares.
No doubt, man. I'm always appreciative when you bring these things up. And to quote one of my favorites in this world, I've said it before on the show, Neil deGrasse Tyson, we can't comprehend the unbelievable odds it takes for you to exist. And people do care about you. People care about you, man. There is always people grieving at someone's funeral. And if you do not have a friend or a family member you want to reach out to, 988. Call 988, text 988. It's that simple. We shouldn't be ashamed to try to hide all of our pain, all of our grief, all of our sadness. And we love football. We love sports. And part of that atmosphere, RG, is we're supposed to battle, we're supposed to overcome. But all of us need help. My deepest condolences to his family. And the best thing I can do is just shout it out again, man. If you really are having a tough time and think you do not want to be with us, call or text 988. Call or text 988. We truly care about people. It's a people show. We want to see everyone live it as long as they possibly can.
Absolutely, man. I also lost Paul Tagliabue, former commissioner of the National Football League, who was in charge of the league throughout the majority of my coming up. Thought he did some really good things. Then you have the unfortunate situation where the UAB football player stabbed some of his teammates. A report came out earlier today that they are in stable condition. You got the kid from Georgia who got involved in the car racing incident, and then come to find out his mom was even involved with it as well too, and they had children in the back of those cars. And luckily, there were no fatalities, but just the decisions that you make that can put other people's lives in danger, man. Just take a second. Just take a second. Sometime I've been reckless in my younger days and did some things that could have gone the wrong way for me too. But just be mindful, man. You're put in a blessed position, and you just be careful, man. If something would have happened to those kids, you would have never forgiven yourself.
No doubt. Well said, man.
Yeah, man. Holiday season, so we do want to be one of the first to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. What are you looking forward to for Thursday?
Dog, your homie turns 41 on Thanksgiving, man. I'm getting old as shit. All my favorite rappers are over 50, but this is what it is, man. And I'm thankful for the live chat, man. This show couldn't do it without y'all. So I just want to say I'm thankful for all you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. We wouldn't have a show if there weren't people around to be able to listen to. And hits on deck, Tommy. I got you, man. I got you. I hear you loud and clear,
Yeah.
bro. Hear you loud and clear, my man. Be sure to be safe this holiday weekend. No drinking and driving. If you are going to be somewhere enjoying the holiday, stay where you're at or hit up a Uber, Lyft. If you live in a city with Whammo or Zook, because I got a chance to ride one of those in Vegas a couple weeks ago, just be safe and don't put yourself out in harm's way. Eat plenty of good food and cheer against the Cowboys and Ohio State with everything you got. All right,
What?
Katie.
Did I hear that
You sure did.
right?
You sure did. Ty, anything else you got for the people?
Power to the people, man. It's great to be back in the ring with you, bro.
Sure is, man. Sure is, man. Won't be with you coming this Sunday just because it's the holiday. I work for the public utility, and unfortunately, someone has to keep the electricity on. So I will be at work. Tyler will be around to give you guys some content and maybe even see if we can get a guest to rock with him, man. Again, happy Thanksgiving, happy birthday to Ty, happy rivalry week for college football. NFL
Woo-hoo!
races are getting interesting, man. NBA Cup is starting. NBA Cup is starting to get out of the preliminary rounds. You got the college basketball early season tournaments going on right now. The Players Life one is the one that I like because they actually give those guys cash money for winning. Wish more teams would get involved in that. This has been My Oh My. It's another sports podcast brought to you by the good folks of Vader Podcast Services live on the airways of YouTube. We try to be here every Sunday, but if not, we try to fill in on Monday, and then we'll keep you abreast to our schedule on our social media. Don't forget to follow us on our social media at My Oh My ASP. You can find us here on YouTube. You can find us on Facebook, X, and Instagram and Snapchat as well too. Big shout out to our social media director, Miss Katie Matsumoto, for all you do to keep our presence on social media rocking. For those of you who can't join us live, the recording of this episode does drop normally on Tuesdays. Probably be a little bit later this week since we got a little late start to record the episode. But you can find it anywhere you like to get your favorite podcast from. Even though it's not baseball season, still want to give a shout out to the Baseball Lovers Alliance and the guys that are romantic about baseball for keeping us a part of their team as well too. And we do look forward to an interesting February once all teams report for spring training. Big shout out to our super producer Indy back in Mother Control after he's been done playing kissy face with his new bride and taking cruises all over the Mexican Riviera and the Bahamas. Happy to have him safely back home. And again, congratulations to Indy and Darby on their wedding back on the 26th of October. The guy on the right side of the screen, best co-host a guy could ever have. Robin to the Batman, Penn to the Teller, Keenan to the Kale. Big shout out to Tyler
Oh,
Matsumoto, recording from Lake Stevens, Washington. Big shout out to Andy holding it down at Mission Control in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm that dude from the Cinco Cero Cinco. I go by the name of RG. Thank you for joining us each and every week for another episode of My Oh My. It's another sports podcast.